Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle Barra. I've been a personal stylist for 25 years. I now help people like you build capsule wardrobes that mix and match easily. So today I wanted to talk to you about my favourite brands for the over 50s. Now there's lots of different reasons why I think sometimes you can look at your wardrobe around that age, and I say broadly because it is very broadly, where you look at it and it doesn't quite feel right anymore. So all of these brands that I've picked out, I think create stylish and affordable pieces. Some are a little bit more expensive than others, but they're all classic, very good quality pieces. They're some of my favourites. There's lots of different reasons why I've included them, which I'll explain when I introduce each one to you. So before I go on, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who has been liking, subscribing, sharing, and literally enjoying my content. I really do, honestly. I read every single comment. I reply to every single comment in the best way possible. So keep it coming. In addition, if you could head over to the community area, I've got a poll there at the moment, which is all about getting your feedback on how you would feel about having a private members area where I come on once a month or twice a month to actually answer any of your questions live. You can kind of show me dresses, you can show me bits and pieces, literally live in that community area. So let me know what you think about that in that poll, because I'd really love your feedback. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have heard from private clients, and also those of you that have left comments in the community and elsewhere, that many of you feel that things change quite a lot around this age group. There's lots of different factors that come into play that mean that sometimes things that were in your wardrobe previously don't quite work anymore. It could be menopause, and that can bring on all different types of things, you know, like things like obviously hot flushes, skin irritation, weight gain around the middle. All of those aspects can make a huge impact on what feels good on you, and there is no reason why you shouldn't still feel good. So each one of these brands that I am actually introducing you to today, if you've not heard of them before, all of them I have actually chosen myself because I particularly like them. I like the quality, I might like the ethics of the brand, I like the style of the brands. I think they're perfect for kind of key pieces that work really well in a capsule wardrobe, that would be timeless but also kind of fashionable at the same time, because we don't want to feel frumpy, do we? In addition, at the end I've got a couple of suggestions of brands that are specifically catered for skin irritation and hot flashes during menopause, so stay tuned for those as well. Now the first one I'm going to talk about is Marks and Spencer. Now I know some of you in the US really struggle to get hold of some of the pieces in Marks and Spencer. You've made me aware of that very recently, so thank you for letting me know about that, because I guess I always presumed that if I put links out that actually you could all get accessible to that. So I have taken that on board. So I'm putting this one first because then a lot of the other brands that I'm going to talk about are readily available elsewhere as well. So one thing I want to talk about with Marks and Spencer is they've always been a staple on the high street ever since I was a kid, and I feel like they went through a stage where they were a little bit fuddy-duddy, then they went through a stage where they were trying to be really trendy and it wasn't quite working, and they kind of went too far the other way. But I feel like in very recent years they've kind of got back onto an equilibrium again, and there's some really lovely kind of timeless pieces. Now one of the biggest trends particularly for this year is white dresses. I did a video recently talking about some of the kind of classic timeless trends, and that was one of them. And Marks and Spencer, I think this year has got some really wonderful, lovely cut white dresses, very much like Nobody's Child, those type of kind of very almost kind of boho dresses, but not quite. They're very good. They're often in cotton, which is great for your skin, so it allows breathability. It's really good quality cotton, and you know, I kind of feel like they're a really good kind of basic option. And actually, they, you know, they've got great kind of silks and cashmeres, and like really good, like I say, really good quality cottons. So have a look at them as well if you can kind of access them. I know most people can access Marks and Spencer's to a certain extent wherever you are, but have a look at their range, because I feel like they've now kind of caught up a little bit, and because for a while it felt to me like they could have gone under because they weren't quite getting it right for their audience, and I feel like they've nailed it again now. Now, another brand that came to my attention recently is called Ivy and Oak, and I really like them again. Now, the reason why I like these pieces in this particular brand is because, again, they tend to be more towards the natural fabrics, but also they're really classic, kind of typical capsule wardrobe, timeless pieces. Now, they often come in quite neutral colours as well. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I talk about the canvas, what I call the canvas colours, like the neutral colours are great in your wardrobe as a backdrop, because then you can add the paint colours, like the brighter colours, on top, and it kind of tends to mix and match easier. I really like some of their simple shirt dresses. They've got some wonderful shirt dresses there in black, and also in this classic white and blue stripe. You know, the classic white and blue stripe shirt, simple shirt, is just like that old money, timeless kind of cut. And in a dress, I just think it gives it a little bit more of a modern slant. In addition, they've got lots of like knitted dresses here, which might be for you, might not be for you. And by knitted, I mean just kind of heavyweight jersey. And I really like the way they keep it really, really simple. These kind of cuts and kind of styles will work really well as like a backdrop to a wardrobe. The other kind of style that I think works really well for almost everybody, whatever body type you are, and you'll hear me say this again, is the classic tea dress shape. And that kind of comes down usually in a little bit of a V, and then underneath the bust, and then gently flares out because it skims over your tummy. And what it does, if you've got a really good bra fitting, it kind of lifts the bust and then separates it from the tummy. And actually, this brand also have some really lovely styled tea dresses as well. Next is Coupals, the Coupals. Now, I know some of you will be looking at that and sort of like, if you go over to the website and you'll think, oh, that's a little bit too trendy for me, but hold out just for a bit. I feel like they do have some classic timeless pieces, like the straight leg or wide leg jeans, and in addition, that classic tea dress style as well. I definitely think it's one of those brands that's targeted at slightly older women, but still being on trend. So check them out as well if you haven't come across them before. And in addition, unlike Ivy and Oak previously, there's some really lovely, bright, vibrant colours here. So if you really love your colour and you want to build your capsule wardrobe with a little bit more colour in it, then take a look at Coupals. Like, for example, this really wonderful, vibrant, bright red dress. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It won't work for everybody colour-wise, but if you need help with colour or style with your body shape, book in for a consultation with me. I'd love to meet you. I love meeting all of you. Now, the next one is almost like a sort of traditional one, like Marks and Spencer's, but not quite, and that's Karen Millan. Now, Karen Millan have been a staple for quite a few years now. Now, what I like about this brand is that they take what's on trend, but they kind of then tweak it slightly to make it more accessible to slightly older women as well. And in addition, what I like about Karen Millan is that often it's in the detail. There's tiny little details. It could be the tie, it could be the belt, it could be where the buttons are positioned, that they do in their design, which makes a lot of their pieces a lot more interesting. So if you're somebody who kind of wants to tone it down, feels like you need to tone it down a little bit, but maybe when you were younger, you really liked pieces that stood out, that were quite interesting, or something to do with the detail that made them stand out, and you enjoyed the fact that they stood out, then Karen Millan's quite a good option for you as well. Like, I really love this white dress. Again, it is in that kind of tea dress style. I like the kind of detailing down the front. In addition, their kind of denim and their more casual looks are kind of classic, again, staples that you can add to your wardrobe. So yeah, Karen Millan's another really good option. Now next on the list is COS. Now COS is a relatively new one to the block. It wasn't around a few years ago, but a little bit like Ivy and Oak. They're quite kind of muted, neutral pieces generally. Not always across the board, but they're not really renowned for really vibrant, fabulous prints or anything. They're much more like those typical capsule wardrobe staples. However, do be careful in terms of the cut. Some of the cuts I find that are very kind of wide and loose and baggy, which is not a problem with that, but it's not great for most body types. So if you are going to choose something that is oversized, consider that it probably will be dated quite quickly. You'll probably end up having to remove it from your wardrobe, and also the likelihood of it actually suiting your type of body type is probably quite thin. Whatever the trends tell you, it's not one of the best options. But as a general rule, I think COS produces some really lovely, classic, simple lines as well. Often simple structures, simple lines. So if that's your kind of thing, I feel like COS is a really good option over 50 as well. For example, this season, it looks like they've got like a few pieces in their collection which have got these quite wide, interesting stripes running through them. So whereas the vast majority of the pieces are just simple block colours, they've got a few of these stripes. So it makes it a little bit more interesting. And I like the cut and the shape of a lot of their tops, like these V-necks. So yeah, check them out as well. That's COS. Next up is Other Stories. Now, Other Stories is a little bit like H&M. Well, it is literally like H&M, but for grown-ups. So I really like, again, their kind of classic timeless sort of cuts. They tend to be more often than not in a quite block colours or really kind of interesting prints. They're renowned for some really lovely dresses, and the fabrics are really good. I also think they're a really good brand if you like that very monochromatic look. And the monochromatic look is about blending one colour. So maybe you wear all silver grey, but the way that which you do it is you have different types of fabric. So you might have, say, a silk top and then a linen pair of trousers, but it's in a similar colour. So it doesn't look like you're matching it to a suit, but so that it looks like that colour's blended throughout. I feel like Other Stories is really, really good for that. They also do some nice cuts and some good options in denim and also the dresses. I first came across Other Stories when I was actually looking at one of their dresses. I really like them. So yeah, there again, I feel like they fall between that predominantly very classic and kind of timeless style, but they're very good like H&M. We're always very good at jumping on the trends quite quickly and incorporating them into their design. And I know there are issues in regards to how their clothes are made, and I'm not so keen on that, but the way in which I encourage you to buy anything, whatever it is you're buying, is think really carefully and very intentionally about what you put into your wardrobe. This is all about some brands that I think that are great at this age group that you can maybe consider and then choose the right pieces for you. And like I've said before, if you need help with that, absolutely get in touch with me, book in for a consultation. I'll put the link here, and I'd love to see your face. I'm really enjoying meeting you all, by the way. I've met so many of you recently. It's been so lovely to meet you and speak to you all over the world. You lot are fantastic. So next up are the two brands that I mentioned earlier that are fantastic for if you're going through the menopause and you've got irritated skin and you're getting hot flashes. Now, the first one I want to talk to you about is Become Clothing. Now, they actually produce clothes that are specifically for wicking sweat away from the skin and keeping you cool. They are designed particularly for women who are going through hot flashes. So the fabric is very soft, it's not going to irritate you, and it's going to keep you cool, particularly at night. So they've got quite a few sleepwear options, daywear options. They're very basics, very much like your basics, the kind of classic neutral pieces that you can put into your wardrobe. So what I suggest you do, if you are suffering from that and you're really struggling with it, take a look at Become Clothing, some of the t-shirts and the lounge tops and lounge pants, and keep comfortable and just have a couple of those pieces in your wardrobe for when you're kind of really struggling with that, and particularly if you're struggling with it overnight. Next is Julie May. Now, Julie May actually approached me They are a lingerie company, and they're specifically targeted at women who have irritated skin, who are allergic to certain types of fabrics, who again are suffering from hot flashes. I was really impressed with their range actually, and I was really impressed with how well thought out their garments are. I worked very recently with a client who was allergic to pretty much every man-made fibre known to man, and she'd really struggled with lingerie, and I was so pleased to be able to point her in the direction of Julie May, because I felt like this was going to solve a huge problem for her. So, you know, if you are one of those people, or you can imagine how that must be when every time you put underwear on, or it irritates you and it's right next to your skin, it must be absolutely awful. So Julie May are fantastic because most of their garments are made from Pima cotton, or they're made from silk, or they're at least lined in the above. They're properly structured as well. They're not like really simple sort of cotton tops that don't give you any support. They've got lots of different ranges in terms of sizes as well, which is also fantastic. And, you know, like I say, like their bras, for example, and things like that are also lined in silk. So it keeps you really comfortable. It stops your skin from overheating. So they're absolutely fantastic. So if you have been struggling for that, I definitely recommend you look at Julie May. I do have a discount code for them as well. So I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. So I'll put it here now, and I'll also stick it in the notes. Next, I want to talk to you about my favourite brand so far for the over 50s, and that's Me and Em. If you've not discovered them yet, definitely check them out. They create slightly quirky but really interesting, beautiful pieces that are cut. The fabric's really good, the structure's really good, the quality's really good, and yet they kind of take what's in fashion. It's very much targeted to kind of over 40s, but they do it in a way that still looks a little bit quirky and really interesting. Like, I really love these V-neck sweaters they've got in for autumn winter. I love their wide leg jeans. I love the cuts of their shirts and also their dresses. And they also do some fantastic jumpsuits as well. So if you are somebody who kind of feels like you're not 50, basically, which, let's face it, most of us do, and you really like that kind of slight quirkiness to your outfit, I've always liked something that's a little bit more interesting, then check out Me and Em, because they do some really nice suits as well. So it doesn't have to be, you know, it never has to be something too quirky, but they also do those classic kind of timeless pieces as well. But they are my absolute favourite for this kind of age group, so definitely check them out. If you need help building your wardrobe, book in for a consultation with me. I love seeing your faces. I've met so many of you over the last few weeks. It's got so busy. It's so wonderful to talk to somebody in Hawaii, somebody in Florida, and then somebody in Sydney all in the same day. So definitely book in. Let's have a chat, and I can talk to you about how I can help you make the wardrobe of your dreams, because you should be looking fabulous. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and watch the rest of my videos as well. Tell me what else you'd like to see. I really love hearing from you, and I promise I reply to every single comment. Every single one of you doing that makes a huge difference to my channel and enables me to be able to send you more content all the time. So thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.